Good morning, y'all, and welcome back. It's a good morning now for me because I'm done running. That's right, I'm running now. You know why? It's because me and Alecia made a deal that whenever we left Louisiana for Tennessee, we were gonna get back in shape. So when we decided to have Caden, we were probably in the best shape of our lives. I know I was. I was the best shape of my life since college. Now I ran track in college, so I'm never gonna be that good ever again because that requires a lot of work. That was 2-a-days, and obviously I digested food and alcohol a lot better then. But today was day one of me running. Now I know you're probably saying, what about Alecia? Some of y'all might think it might be unfair that I'm going ahead and starting to get in shape and run without Alecia. But hear me out. So she likes to run. She's really good at running. I hate running, but I understand it's a necessary evil to get yourself back in shape. Also, it makes you feel good. I'm a little bit addicted to the way you feel right now. When the running's over with, I love the way you feel because you feel like you've accomplished something and it kind of gets you going for the rest of the day. But as far as running goes, I hate everything about running. But Alecia, she likes running and she's good at it. So I could start right now, and in 3 months of me running without her first day back after having a broken ankle, she's probably gonna be able to run further and faster than me without even trying. So right now, I have the advantage. I get to run without her, so at least I'll win for a little bit before she shows back up. Today was no fun. Today, my goal was to run 1 mile without walking. We managed to do it. I would say I didn't walk, but I wouldn't say I ran the whole time either. We moved briskly for 1 mile. And I'll tell you one thing, the first day back is always hard. And I'll probably try to do 1 mile every single day for the first week before I go up to 2 miles. Because I want to overdo it. Because sometimes I get a little overconfident and I'll be like, oh, today's the day, 2 miles. And then it makes me want to skip the next day. And I know if you can do something for 7 days in a row, you can start a habit. So I'll try to do 7 days in a row, 1 mile each day. And then eventually I'll go to 2 miles each day, and then 3 miles, and I'll probably stop it there because the last time me and Alecia ran together, we kind of got a little competitive, and there was days where we'd run 6 and 7 miles a day. I mean, it was fun. Once you bite that off, you're committed to that because we had this little app that we run with, and it's not fair because the person that goes last knows what the first person ran. So all you need to know is how far or how fast they ran, and that's who wins. So for me, the only way to beat her was if I went second and I could just run further than her, because I'll never run faster than her because she's got some gene in her where she can just run as fast and as long as she wants. It doesn't hurt her. Me, I got that gene where I'll run from here to there really fast, and then I'll struggle the rest of the way. We're down here in the city park. It's by the golf course. There's a golf course over there. This is a fishing pond. And right behind me, there's all these trails to run in. And it goes all the way over there. Goes all the way over there. Also, I came here because there's a splash pad over here that I wanted to go see if it's still open because it's after Labor Day. But there's no signage anywhere to tell me when it closes. Because I want to take the girls there today. If not, backup plan. There's an awesome playground over there that we're for sure coming back today. A little update on Alecia. So it's been 6 days since surgery. The first couple days she never came out of the room. We basically just gave her supplies. She slept the whole time and she took some of her pain medication. The last 2 days though have been pretty good because she's come out of the room almost the whole day and hung out with us. She is starting to get around really good on crutches. It doesn't not hurt yet though, so it's still in pain because she can tell when she starts to overdo it because she'll have to take a break from us. But she has been getting out of bed. She has been hanging out with us. She has been participating in things outside of the room. We're a week away from her 2-week checkup, and then we find out what's next. We think he's gonna be taking these stitches out, possibly doing a follow-up x-ray to make sure everything's still good, and then we think she's getting a boot. We don't know, we've never done this before, and he didn't say much because we were the last surgery of the day, so when he got done with us, all he said was, see you in 2 weeks. Now that we're done running, we're gonna head back to Alicia's parents' house. We're gonna work on that guy, because my air compressor relay pressure switch finally came in. For some of y'all that don't know, I've been having problems with my air compressor, so I haven't had a train horn in a while. It's been about, well, for you guys, it's probably been like 3 or 4 videos. For me, it's only been like 10 days. 10 days is when I made that video where I told y'all I was having problems with it. It's a good thing I didn't order it then because we wouldn't have been in Memphis or Nashville when it showed up. So I ordered it when we first got here after the incident, and it came in yesterday. So today we're gonna make the air compressor system work again, and I'll show you guys that when we get back to the house. I just stopped and checked the splash pad out, and the sign said it should be open today, but the gate was locked. I managed to find some of the workers here, and they told me that they close it down on Labor Day. So even though we're in Texas and it's gonna be 98 degrees today in September, because it stays hot here and basically up until like December 24th, then it's cold for one day, then it's hot again. These girls don't get to go play in the splash pad today. It's probably a good thing I came and checked before I promised something I couldn't give them, because they love anything involving water, the splash pad, the pool, but the playground's awesome. So we'll probably come back to the playground, and I might look up something else to do with them, because they've been being troopers lately. They've been cooped up in the house with us, taking care of mommy, so they deserve a day. So we're gonna find something for them to do today after I get done working on my truck. Also after the truck, I have one little small business thing with the website and paving new path stuff, but it shouldn't take too long. And then me and the girls are gonna go have some fun. We're back at Phil and Ludlow's house, and we have this right here. It's our new Viair pressure switch. So it has a rating of 165 PSI, it will turn on, and at 200 PSI it turns off. What that really means is when it's below 165 PSI in my tank, it will activate the air compressor to come on. So it means it'll have a closed contact, meaning the power from the battery can flow to the air compressor and it'll run. When it gets to 200 PSI, it will open the contact, wait for the loud truck. When it gets to 200 PSI, it will open the contact, causing the power to stop flowing to the compressor, and it'll turn off, and that's the way it works. And it'll stay off until it drops below 165 PSI. So at 165 PSI, the pressure will allow the contact to close again. It's normally closed contact, and the pressure opens it. Now, for some of you guys, you don't know what I'm talking about because you may not have watched a few videos ago, but when we were getting ready to head to Tennessee, this guy right here was giving me problems. Well, they kept blowing fuses, and I originally thought it was because there was something wrong with the wiring or the compressor. But after I played with it, I figured out that it only blew the fuse whenever it hit 200 PSI. So I'd put a fuse in, I'd turn it on, everything would work fine. When it got to 200 PSI, I would hear something happen back here, and then the fuse up here would be blown. I got to researching it, and I found out, loud trucks again, I found out that the Viair pressure switches are only good for about a year. All the reviews online said about 1 year is all you can expect out of them, which I thought was pretty good because we had 2 years and it was still working, maybe, because it still allowed the compressor to work. It just didn't stop working. After researching it some more, I realized that something is going on. Either this guy right here, whenever it opens up, it's grounding out because there is a ground wire in there. So when it opens up, it might be, you know, grounding the power to the ground, or it's not opening at all, and my air compressor is continuing to try to fill the tank up, and when it gets above 200 PSI, it's obviously going to be drawing more than 30 amps, so it's blowing the fuse because it's trying to put out more work than it can. Either way, the pressure switch is probably bad. So today, we're going to fix that problem. Now we know there's nothing wrong with the air compressor because you guys saw when I went and got the RV by myself at the lake after Alecia's incident, I was able to turn it on with my switch, and as long as I didn't let it get to 200 PSI, it worked all day. I was able to fill up all the tires on the RV, all the tires on the truck, and I even had enough air to blow the train horn one last time. Well, today, we're hopefully gonna fix that. So the first thing we gotta do is we gotta drop the spare tire. The hardest part of this job is dropping the spare tire. After that, it's just a matter of unwiring 4 wires, getting that switch off, which I'll show you guys when we go there. It screws straight into the tank on that right there. There's an adapter we're going to take off and swap over. Once you get this guy out and swapped over, we should be able to have it tested here in just an hour or so. And if it works, I'm tempted to take the old one apart to see if we can't figure out why it's not working. We have the spare tire out of the way, and we have access to our relay switch, which is right here in the side of the air tank. And we have 4 wires. So we have the positive wire that's from the battery that goes to the relay. We have the trigger switch from the outfitter that goes to the relay. We have a ground, and then we have a positive wire from the relay to the air compressor. So we're gonna do those 4 wires. and then hopefully we'll be able to back this guy out without having to drop the air tank. So we have the old one out, and you can see there was a little bit of water in there, so we're gonna go ahead and drain the tank. We normally drain the tank about every week, but there was definitely some water in there. Now we're gonna address this guy up and get rid of some of these connectors and get our butt splices on, and at least get half of it done, so that when we're under there, once we get it screwed in to the tank, all we have to do is connect the leads from the truck and the battery. We have the new pressure switch installed in the tank. It was a tight fit, but you can do it without dropping the tank or removing the leader hose. Now we're gonna hook all of our wires back up and give her a test. The moment of truth. We have the new relay wired up. We're gonna change the fuse. We're gonna start the truck. We're gonna turn the air compressor on, and we're gonna do a test run to see if it'll fill up without blowing the fuse. We have the truck running, the fuse is changed, and we turned the air compressor on, and it is filling up. So at least we wired it right. Now let's see if that fixed our problem. Whenever it gets the tank full, will the relay shut off and not blow the fuse? Bad news, changing the relay pressure switch did not fix it. Actually, it's blowing the fuse because it's not turning off. It's going over 200 PSI, and that's causing it to go over the 30 amps. So now we're gonna drop the tank and see if some debris or something is not stuck in those fittings that's affecting the pressure that the pressure switch is reading, because it feels like the pressure switch is never switching state. It's not telling the compressor to stop running. We're gonna see if there's something going on with the tank. Maybe buildup of the water and contamination might be in there, causing it to not read 200 PSI. That's why it's not turning off. So I didn't drop the tank yet, but when I was getting ready to drop the tank, I started thinking about some things, and why would it overpressure and not turn off? I may or may not have fixed it accidentally. Right now I got it running again. We're gonna see if it shuts off on its own without blowing the fuse, and if it does, if it fixes it, I'm gonna have to tell you what I did. It's gonna be really my fault from the beginning, and the other switch probably wasn't bad to begin with either. It comes back down to my maintenance and taking care of things, but I'm not gonna tell y'all unless it works. If it works, I'll have to fess up as to what the problem was. It looks like it's working, and it was my fault to begin with, and I'll explain it to you in a minute. But I'm sorry for how loud it is here. I'm in Alicia's parents' backyard because they're out running errands because they're getting ready to go on a trip to Florida. So I'm trying to take care of Alecia inside the house and fix the truck. So I'm having to take a break every 5 to 10 minutes. I run inside and check on her, and I'm also trying to fix this problem. But it seems every time I turn this camera on, I think every deleted Peterbilt in this county drives by in front of their house. So I'm sorry about how loud it was, but I'm trying to do my best to take care of Alecia and fix my problems. Now I'm gonna show you that it's working, and then I'll crawl back under the truck and I'll show you why it wasn't working. All right, so there's my system pressure at 200 PSI, and it turned the air compressor off. Now I'm gonna bleed it down by putting some air in my airbags. As soon as it goes below 165, sorry. All right, as soon as it goes below 165, it should turn back on. There it goes, it's running. So now my system is running like it's supposed to. Now, I'm gonna crawl under there and show you why I had a problem and how I can fix it in the future. It's working just fine now. And the reason it wasn't working was not a relay problem. It was sort of a relay problem, but the way it was interpreting the pressure. So it was actually not shutting off because it wasn't saying 200 PSI. So the compressor was actually over amperaging because it was going to like 220 PSI, and that would blow the fuse right there. The reason it wasn't seeing 200 PSI, even though my gauge was, this thing right here was probably halfway full of water. So whenever I had 200 PSI of air pressure, because the air takeoff is up here on top, I believe there was water on this sensor, and we all know, well maybe y'all don't know, but I know from my last job, 200 PSI of air will not equate to 200 PSI of liquid. So this thing was never seeing 200 PSI, so it never opened up. So this guy kept running until he blew the 30 amp fuse, because I believe he pulls 19 amps running normally, and about 220 PSI, he starts to build so much pressure that he probably goes over that 30 amp fuse. When I was getting ready to drop this tank, because I was convinced there was something in here blocking this, there was actually water. Just to try it out, I went ahead and popped this guy right here, which is your drain valve. And water came out. There was so much water that came out. I guarantee you it was halfway full. The reason it was that way is all my fault, because whenever the spare tire's in the way, I can't get to this. And I just realized that this side over here, it's not the drain, it's a bleeder.
I've been using this because I can reach into the wheel well and pull this and I see water come out. Well, that's halfway up on the tank. So it only drains what's above it. So I've been draining it, but doing it all wrong because I'm only draining from the top half. So this bottom half is completely full of water, which is right there at the same level as this pressure switch. So now I'm gonna have to start checking this more often because this is the bottom drain and it's something that I thought I was taking care of, but I wasn't. And it was out of sight, out of mind because the spare tire is in the way whenever it's pulled up. And I can't get to that without dropping the spare tire. From now on, when I want to drain this, I'm gonna have to drop the spare tire and then crack this drain right here and let the water out. Because I promise you, this is a 2.5 gallon air tank. I guarantee you there was 1.5 gallons of water. It was so much water I had to move the truck to continue working. Now I have a spare relay because the other one was probably working just fine, and I should have known better because when I took it out, some water came out, but not a lot because it only pushed water out to where this opening is. So the whole rest of the bottom of the tank was actually full. And then when it pressurized, it pushes the water into the sensor, blocks the sensor from reading, and then it will not trigger to open the relay. I'm glad we could share this together. I can tell you that I messed up. I thought I was doing good, and I was not. But now, we're gonna have to have a new company policy on how we drain this air tank because the way I was doing it was not sufficient. So we had to pick all of our tools up and we're back over here at the RV now. And that's because I need a quiet space with good internet because I'm having a meeting with our web designer. Could be our last meeting before the website's available. So I'm gonna go inside and talk to her about what we have left to do. We also just got word that our first shipment, our test shipment of our merchandise is being sent. So you guys will be seeing that soon. So I just got off the phone with our website designer and things are coming together really well. We might have one more meeting, but things are just about finalized. You're really gonna like all the stuff we got planned for you guys. We have some awesome merch coming. We have an awesome website. It's really, really something. And I hope you guys really enjoy it because we spent a lot of time working on it. When our website opens, not only will we have lots of new merch, we're also gonna have a giveaway. The e-bike that you guys recently saw, check it out right here. So this e-bike is a 48 volt all-terrain fat tire e-bike from Himiway. We're gonna be giving that away to one of you guys, and all you gotta do to enter to win it is to either sign up to our newsletter or purchase some merchandise and you'll be entered to win. We're gonna run it for 2 weeks from the opening day of the website. Stay tuned because I will let you guys know. You're gonna know when the website's available. We'll be wearing some new merchandise the day of. I'm gonna show you all the things we got for you, as well as remind you about the awesome e-bike giveaway. The reason I had to fix my air compressor was 1, it needs to be fixed. 2, I've been driving by too many golf courses with that train horn. And 3, I have an idea for a video. So you guys, a couple months back, saw me make a video where I took this guy right here and I weighed it, and I weighed the truck, and I showed you how to use those scale slips to find out the weight of the truck, the weight of the camper, and the pin weight. And it was a pretty good video. But there was a lot of comments in there that got me thinking I have another idea. And I need to know what you guys might think about this idea. And I need my airbags to work because it's part of the idea. So, I have this B&W companion hitch, but it's a turnover ball system, which means I have a lot of adjustability in the bed of the truck. And during that video where I weighed it, a lot of people said, well, where's the pin weight on the truck and are your airbags off or on? Well, it got me thinking, now that I know what my trailer weighs and what my truck weighs, it'd be interesting to see how moving the 5th wheel in the bed of the truck affects everything. So would you guys want to see a video like that, where I perhaps go back to the scale and I weigh everything with the 5th wheel over the axle, and then I move it as far forward as it'll go, because I think I can go 5 inches ahead of the axle and 5 inches behind the axle. I think I should do that. I should weigh the camper in all 3 positions, over the axle, ahead of the axle, and behind the axle, and see how it affects the weight of the truck as far as the front axle of the truck and the rear axle of the truck, and who's carrying the most weight. Also, there was a lot of people commenting about the airbags and how they affected the weight. So I was thinking to throw in a second piece of data. We'll do each way with the airbags completely deflated and inflated to see, does having air in the airbags transfer any weight between the rear axle and the front axle? You guys let me know. Would that be a video you guys might want to see? Because I can do that, and then we can dissect the data together and find out where does that need to be to help the weight on the truck from that guy right there. Anyway, I can make it happen. What do you guys think about that idea? So we're done here at the RV. I'm about to leave here and head back to Phil and Lodo's house. I'm gonna get the girls and we're going on a daddy-daughter date. I found that there is a indoor jump house play area at the mall here. So we're gonna go have some fun because they need it, because they've been stuck in the house taking care of mama, and they're doing a good job of it. I want to take them to the splash pad, but that's closed because it's after Labor Day. We're gonna go wear them out at the little bounce house. Are you ready to go have fun?
Yeah.
Where do you think we're going?
I don't know.
Where do you want to go?
I don't know.
It's gonna be fun. Ready, Kayla?
Yeah.
It's up here. Come on, Kayla boo. Look at that place. Is that cool? Do you even know what it is?
Yeah, I
What is it, Kayla boo? What y'all doing? Arr! Is this a pirate cannon? Is this a pirate cannon? Go up there, Kayla. Go slide down. It's Kayla boo. Woo! Where you going, Kay boo? You going to the baby one? Kayla's going. She's going back to the pirate ship. Is that little puppy dog? Get on that horse. Get on that horsey. Whoop. Get on this mushroom. Whoa. Did you have fun, Ashlyn? Did you have fun, Kayla?
Yeah.
You want to do it again?
Yeah.
You want to go take naps first?
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed hanging out with me for the day. Thanks for joining. What? No. We're gonna keep hanging out. I'm just saying goodbye to them. Is that okay? Anyway, hope you enjoyed hanging out with us. We're gonna go hang out some more. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time.